Hey guys, my name is ItsArius. I'm a deep house producer from Germany, and today I want to show you guys how Lynnic and me made our track Cornfield Chase.
Do not go gentle into that good night.
The song is a cover of Cornfield Chase by Hans Zimmer, which was originally composed for the Interstellar soundtrack. Many people asked how we've made the track and especially how the lead synthesizers were made. So yeah, I just wanted to show the project and show how the different sounds were made. This is what the project looks like. We've started this song with a piano, which plays pretty much just the chords from the original song. Yeah, so just some really simple chords. For the sound we've used the soft piano by Spitfire Labs, turned the reverb to about 40% and turned down the velocity a lot, so the piano sounds way softer. For effects, I've turned down the sub-frequencies since there's a bass gonna be added later, and then turn up the higher frequencies a lot since otherwise the Labs piano sounds really muffled and you won't hear it through the mix. Then I've routed it to a send channel where there's some Valhalla vintage verb, just a really big reverb, followed by some compression, multiband compression, and then at the end the reverb gets removed, some of the low frequencies, so yeah, the piano sounds less muddy and less muffled. For the drop then, it's just less notes, added sidechain and remove more lows, so it sounds like this. For the sidechain, we usually use just a kickstart. Yeah, then going to the second sound, there's a cello, which only plays in the breaks, not in the drop. We thought the track could use a cello, since the original song obviously is composed for orchestra and organ, and we thought let's just not simply only use synthesizers, also add some real instruments to add some character, and it sounds like this. So it's just playing the root notes of the chords, and for the sound we've also used Spitfire Labs, just a string ensemble. Yeah, for the effects nothing special, just a cue that slowly opens up, so the high frequencies come towards the drop, and we've automated the expression, which is this slider here in Spitfire Labs. And yeah, the notes always get the loudest at the end of the note, so you have this kind of movement in the instrument and it doesn't sound like too boring throughout this song. The next element I want to show you guys are the atmospheres of the song. Nothing really special going on, just some different swells and a granular piano, and all the sounds are panned to the left, to the right, some are panned all the way to the right, all the way to the left, some just like 50%, and yeah, together all the atmospheres sound like this. And then we have some louder swells in the drop when different drum parts come in, so you have like a cleaner transition, and they sound like this. Yeah, and some basic white noise downfall. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the atmosphere. Before the second drop we have this brass LFO step, just a sample. We've put some panning automation on, which sounds like this. The piano is layered with some chords. I don't have the plugin right now here, which I can show you since Lynnic made it in Logic, but I think he used Serum, just some simple saw pad, which sounds like this. And yeah, just has some sidechain on it. And as you can see and as you can hear, the highs are sometimes filtered out and sometimes coming in, so we just automated it so it gives some more movement throughout the track. Okay, so next up, coming to the drums. This is what the drums sound like isolated. I'll just play the whole drum loop first and then explain it. So first, just a pretty basic kick drum. Usual sound you would use in deep house, just a little less high-end. We've took out some high-end since the whole track is pretty muffled and not really much high-end going on, so the kick would really stand out if we didn't take out the high-end. So then it's just paired with some deep toms. Just some basic toms made in Serum, printed as audio, so I can save some CPU, but nothing special. Then there's coming in this head loop, just a head loop I've chopped up a little bit. Yeah, head loop together with some percussion. And then we have these fills going on, just some different fill samplers and percussion samplers, and all of them have a lot of reverb on them. So they sound really atmospheric and match with the vibe of the track, which is like really slow, really atmospheric, and not using any sharp sounds. Also, most of these percussions are really filtered. Most of the high frequencies are taken out. And yeah, just a lot of reverb on all of the drum sounds, except of the kick. Then there's another fill going on, and there are different shaker and ride loops coming in, and there's coming in this clap sound, which is also really filtered and has a lot of reverb. Yeah, then together all of the drums sound like this. And that's pretty much it for the drums. For the second build-up, we have just this simple snare build-up. And then some impact sounds and some risers, and then on the run of the second drop we have this impact sound. The drums in the second drop are pretty much the same, just some little percussion loop is added, which sounds something like this. So yeah, that's it for the drums. Just a dry kick and a lot of percussion with a lot of reverb and a lot of filters on all the percussion, so there isn't a lot of high end in the song for the drums. The next element is the bass, made in Serum, and it sounds like this. Just a really simple re-bass, also very filtered. And the second drop starts with this long bass fill, which sounds something like this. which is just a really long pitch bend from a higher octave. We've automated this portamento knob in Serum, so the note slowly bends from the octave down to the lower octave, and then the filter gets opened, and there's reverb coming in on the note. The reverb that you hear coming in is just some really basic endless smile, so you also have this kind of washout effect on the bass. So when it then hits on the second chord, all the low end comes back into the bass and you can hear the sidechain pumping again. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for the bass. And then for the break we have these vocals, which sound like this. Yeah, the vocal is just a quote out of the movie Interstellar. We thought it would fit the track, and yeah, we've just used 3 lines out of this poem. Try to isolate the track that is in the back of the poem, just with a lot of EQs and like Soothe 2, which takes some of the tonal frequencies out. You can still hear it a little in the back. If I solo it, it sounds something like this. But it doesn't really bother us since it's in the same key of our song. So yeah, it's just some more atmosphere, you could say. And then the pre-drop vocal sounds something like this.
Do not go gentle into that good night.
Yeah, just the same poem added with some short slap delay and some endless smile automation for some big reverb. Yeah, now coming to the main element of the song, the lead synthesizer, also made in Serum, and it sounds something like this. So yeah, just the melody out of the original Cornfield Chase. It's just a Serum preset I found in some pack, out of this Lilly preset pack, and without effects it sounds like this, just way more dry. And for the effects we then just took out some frequencies in the mids, cut off the bass since it had some weird bass rumble going on, and then putting it to a send reverb channel. Yeah, also a big delay on the send reverb, and also a delay on the main channel, which fills up the gaps since it's just a few notes playing and the gaps are really long. And then to fill out the gaps, we've added some Valhalla vintage verb and some multiband compression, and the most important plugin of this whole track, I would say, is the limiter, which is used as a sidechain compressor, compressed by the lead itself. So every time the sound is played, the reverb gets stuck down, and when the sound doesn't play, the reverb gets louder. That's how you can achieve the sound that the reverb sounds really big but doesn't sound too wet. And after the reverb, we filtered the reverb, so you only have like these mid frequencies. I can turn down the sidechain compressor on the reverb and the EQ, and the sound would sound like this. Yeah, so without the sidechaining on the reverb, it sounds just like really far away and way too wet. And then with the filter added and the compressor, the reverb only plays when the sound doesn't play, and that achieves like this clean reverb sound and this long reverb tail together with the delay sound that it's added. And yeah, then the wet sound sounds like this. Yeah, also in front of every 4 bars there's some reversed reverb tail for the lead, so it gets slowly introduced, which sounds like this. Yeah, this is the lead synthesizer for the first drop. The second drop has a little different lead. It has this plucked lead, which sounds like this. The preset in Serum is the Lynnic Pluck, a saw wave with a filter and a plucky envelope. And this sound is used in most of our tracks, I would say, like In Your Heart, in Drifting Away, and also in Notice. So kind of our signature pluck sound that Lynnic has made. And it plays these dotted quarter notes, which slowly open up. It's just a filter automation in Serum, and then slowly delay coming in, which fills the gap. And then right when the drum hits again, you can see that the filter is going back down and closing, and it's smoother again. So the filter really just opens up in the moment the drop hits, and in the first bar of the drop, and then it's going back again down, and the song plays smoother again. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the lead synthesizer. You then just have the first lead synthesizer coming back in the second drop, second half, which then sounds like this. Yeah, and then the last element is just a Ryhtm Pluck. Or otherwise you could also call it like a tonal snare, since it's just playing on the 2 and the 4, sounding like this. It's made out of the same preset as the second lead synthesizer is made, just a shorter envelope, and the filter is way more closed. And the filter then gets opened up when the plug is reintroduced in the second half of the drop, which sounds like this. Yeah, also pretty wet sound, a lot of reverb going on, and instead of just using reverb, I mostly use just Endless Smile as a reverb, since it has like this really clean long reverb tail compared to other reverbs sounding way muddier, I think. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for the song. So just a lot of filtered sounds and a lot of reverb on the big lead synthesizers. Feel free to leave some feedback in the comments on this production. I hope it was kind of helpful for anyone. And if you want to see some more tutorials, maybe on our other songs, maybe also together with Lynnic, just write that down below. I hope this was kind of alright for my first YouTube video and you could follow along, and yeah, I hope to see you again sometime. Peace.